I'm 23 years old, 5'6", 200 pounds, strong muscles, black hair, and a mustache with a small triangle of hair underneath like Val Kilmer in the movie Tombstone. As far back as I can remember, computers have come easy to me. I can almost make them sit up and talk when I need to. So you can say, by day I was a knowledgeable geek, but at night I turned into a man on the net, Mr. Dark. Then one of the group made a bet that would bring the winner $10 million in cryptocurrency. I was bored, so I texted him that I'd take the bet. It's not my money if I lose. The gist of the bet was that you had to give up hacking for 3 months and lead an honest life with $1 million in your pocket, which was supposed to grow to $3 million by the end of the 3rd month. It was obvious to me that with the increasing smartness of phones, they would soon replace computers, so I just had to connect the two and give birth to a new creation that I had been toying with for a long time, and how I could win this bet. I sat in the museum that rich people call home and shook my head. I guess having a heart attack at such an early age makes you reassess your life priorities. The lady told me to take a seat in a rather large office and told me that the lady of the house would see me soon. I never liked people who felt the need to flaunt their wealth and thought everyone else was beneath them. So at the tender age of 20, while I was playing shooters and smoking pot at a friend's birthday party, I had an idea. I created an app that allowed me to remotely activate my phone's screen and sound and maintain a GPS signal even if the phone was turned off. I offered it to the military as well as other government officials, and 3 months later I was one of those rich people with $30 million, but I was living in a renovated log cabin on 5 acres of land in Tennessee and didn't see the need to live like that. The door behind me started to open as I rose to my feet, and then a woman entered the room and sat at a desk with a rather large gentleman behind it. She stood in a light gray top that framed her beautiful breasts that went down to a very thin waist, but when she picked up a book that was on the desk and turned to put it back on the shelf, I instantly fell in love. Her ass was pure perfection. I heard a quiet cough and realized I was hooked. I looked up and a slight smirk appeared on her lips. "So, Mr. Smythe?" "Smythe," I corrected. "Smythe, you say you have proof that my husband was having an affair?" "I've had the best private investigators try that and come up with nothing. What makes you think you can?" "I have an argument and they don't," I said. She looked me over from head to toe. Button-down shirt, slacks, and nice tennis shoes. "Really? Prove it." I asked for his ISP and phone number, which I typed into the tablet from my bag, and 4 minutes later, audio appeared on my Bluetooth. "I can't hear anything," she said impatiently. I slowly stood up and walked over to the table and bent over. The large male started to move, and I laughed with my hands in the air. "I just wanted to see her fangs and tail," and sat back down, then turned off the Bluetooth so it would go on the speaker. Suddenly, the room was filled with a female voice. "That's it, Daddy. Show your girl how much you like me and not this bitch that won't let you near me and what's yours." Then a male voice replied, "After I'm done, I'm going to take that sweet ass of yours. Maybe we should let her look at us sometime." "Bad, Daddy," the woman giggled, and I cut the connection. "Is that enough proof, or do you want a gift wrapped?" I said rather sharply. Her eyes narrowed with a slap. "People like you always want to get other people's money, not work for it. What is your price, Judas? 30 pieces of silver, or has the price gone up since last time?" The usual trophy wife nonsense. And I was on the verge of saying what a man shouldn't say to another man's woman when the clouds parted, and I saw my perfect plan to humble her in her sharp mouth. I told her I didn't want her money. She looked shocked and then exclaimed, "I'm definitely not sleeping with you." I just laughed at her and then hardly stopped. "I'll give it all to you for free and only on one condition. And that is that you stop acting so arrogant and enjoy an old-fashioned barbecue with me and try everything we simple folk like you can even have a rescue vehicle nearby, so if you can't take the heat—" She laughed. "That's it. I thought you had a brain. It's a deal, and he'll be here for my safety." "See you in 2 weeks," was my reply. 2 weeks later. The divorcee-to-be sat in the backyard by the pool and ogled me in shorts and a t-shirt, thinking I wouldn't notice while I processed the meat on the grill as well as a couple of fish. I asked a chef I knew what sauces went best with what. Then I wanted something so hot it would brand you. He said I wasn't a nice person, but made it up anyway. She brought wine. I stuck 12 bottles in her fridge. But after we emptied the first bottle and half finished the second, she started to relax and apologized for our first meeting. But now that all the stress had passed, she found it even more relaxing than she thought and asked if I'd bring another bottle of wine. When I returned, music was playing softly. But I turned into a statue as she came out from behind the bush with no shorts on, just a thong and a tank top that barely reached her hips, took my hand and led me over to a chair, and when she sat down, spread her legs and told me that I hadn't tasted all the samples yet, and as a judge, I had to test each one thoroughly. All I remember is that the wine went somewhere and my eyes stopped on hers, and my smile slowly lowered to my most favorite thing in the world. I raised my head and slowly brought my face close to hers and kissed her lips. "Sorry, babe. It's my fetish. I can have sex all day long if you let me," I said honestly. And then, disaster struck. As we got up to take things to the bedroom, she walked past the edge of the table. Noticing the specialty hot sauce I had brought to teach her a lesson, but before I picked up our glasses and wine, she stuck her finger in it almost to the second knuckle, and as she put it in her mouth, I heard a scream of "No!" 3 days later, I signed for the package, and when I looked inside, I saw a silk pouch and underneath it a note that read, "To Michael W. Smythe, I can't believe what I'm about to say, but here goes." I was raised to believe that affluence solves everything, and those who don't have it are just forced to tolerate those who do. You've proven me wrong, and I thank you, but you've given me a bigger problem. I've fallen in love with a regular guy, but I feel I need more protection than I'm already provided with. Open the package now. Inside was Pepto-Bismol, anti-gas pills, and a coupon for 3 loaves of white bread on sale somewhere. At the bottom of the note, she wrote, "Say 7:30 today," and her cell phone number. "Love from Miss Charlene Allen." I called the next day. We dated and had fun for 3 years and then got married on the wedding anniversary of a regular man who had called her a few years earlier. And for those wondering, I am now totally straight. Okay, I still dabble a bit. Some old habits have become vices, but only for good. Still working on my family, though.